Hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. So this week I found myself up on the moors, and that seems to have been the theme of the week, to be honest with you. Out in the middle of nowhere, looking for something I can't quite find. But I'd had a tip off. There was an old quarry up on the moors. Now we've been to this moor before. It's Marsden Moor. And first off, before we do find the quarry, but first off, before we find the quarry, we see an old familiar friend. One that we haven't seen before, but you'll get the gist of what I mean when you see it. Allow me to explain. Let's go up onto the moors. There you go, an Ordnance Survey map. Not like me to show one of those, is it? Makes a change. Anyway, you'll see that's where we are. Pule Hill and Pule Bents, just where the X has appeared. The road to the left in red is the A62 road that leaves Oldham and goes over to Huddersfield. You'll see Marsden in the top right hand corner, but what we're concerned with, deep below us, about 400 or 500 feet below us, is the Standedge canal and railway tunnels. And you'll see it says air shafts if you look closely. That's what we're going to take a look at, and some of you will be familiar with these. We've looked at these in the past before, but we're going to look at another one we've not seen before. See that one there now steaming like a good one. Right, we're at the top of the hill. Plateaued out a bit. Can't see no quarry. Ground's uneven. Must be further around the corner here or something. Right, well, can't see a quarry, but we've found, I think, what is the last shaft for Standedge, one that I've never seen before. It's there. See it? Are you going to press record?
Yeah.
So is it in video mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you can see at the minute, if you can see that. Right, so the drone doesn't like the wind, but it's caught quite well, to be honest with you. Right, now as you can see, we've got a nice picture of the top of the shaft with the drone, and you'll see inside it's got a grating in. Now, for me, this is the last air vent on the hills that I've never seen this one before. Obviously, I always approach Standedge tunnels from the Diggle end because I live over that side, sort of like the Manchester side. So for me, this is the last shaft. Obviously, if you're in Yorkshire or Marsden, you're coming that way. It's the first shaft. But when we walked through the Standedge tunnels, we came in from the Diggle end, and if I remember rightly, I do remember the last shaft. And it was scary. So as we look at the top of that one, even though it's a square sort of like building around it, the brickwork is square around it, I highly suspect the shaft isn't square, it'll be circular as they all were. Now if I remember rightly, if we do a blast from the past, I remember the bottom of this shaft, and like I say, it was very scary. So let's go back in time to 2018, was it, when we did the Standedge tunnels. And as we look at the top of this shaft, let's now go back and look at the bottom of it. That sumps for the machines. It drew out the water. There you go, one of the most breathtaking and scary things I've ever seen on all my travels, those shafts for the Standedge tunnels, amazing stuff. Right, as it was for me, we had to go through Oldham. I decided to go and check in on an old friend, Heartside Mill. I wanted to go and see what was going on, so we took ourselves down to Heartside Mill. And as you can see here, not a lot has happened, to be honest with you. There's not a great deal that's gone on. The 3 towers are still standing, and there's no big sort of plant machinery around there, you know, no big grabbers or anything. So I suspect nothing much is happening. It's not like they're about to go in there and start pulling anything down. So there you go, a quick update on the Heartside Mill for you. I know a few of you that live in the area are keeping your eye on it and let me know about it, but nothing going on there. So anyway, back to the moors, and I'll show you this quarry, because this was quite a thing to see. Okay, just quickly back to the map. It's actually a map of a walk you can do around this area. But as we zoom in, we've found the quarry, or one of the quarries, because it looks like there's more than one. Where it says incline, disused, just coming into view now, that's what we're going to look at. Top of there is a quarry. So let's get back out onto the hillside and take a look at that incline. So wondering if this is a tramway, see all the way down there to the road. And then obviously it came here into the quarry. Let's go down here. Possibly the entry to the quarry here. Or the loading area, maybe a loading area where they sort of like got the stone and loaded it onto some sort of tramway railway here. Show you this. There you go, see, and then there's some fittings in the wall there. God, how old is that steel there? Eh? See, I don't know what that arrangement was, but you can see the remains of an old spindle there, can't you? And one there as well. That, whatever that is, or however that worked, eh? Precariously placed rocks above us there. Okay, so not a vast amount of information about this place other than it's called Pule Edge Quarry. Apparently it's an extensive exposure of upper Carboniferous Midgley grit that used to be known as Pule Hill grit, but I'm not well up with me rocks, to be honest with you. You can see plant fossils in the quarry spoil. Now I missed that, or I didn't look close enough. And the other information I've got that in 1933 the quarry was still producing, actively producing paving stones, sets, which I know as cobbles, and building stones. So it was still active in 1933. I wonder when it stopped being active. That would be interesting to know, wouldn't it? Now, apparently this place also has a bit of a Bronze Age history to it. It was a burial ground. There was an article published in 1897 by Mr. Henry Fishwick, and he says, while searching for flints on the summit of Pule Hill a few weeks ago, a discovery was made of considerable antiquarian interest. On the highest point of the hill, and about 12 to 18 inches beneath the surface, were found 2 human skeletons lying on their sides, almost directly east and west, knees of both of them being drawn up. They had some little urns around them, and in the urns were some bones, and the internal organs were in the urns as well. I never knew about that. Also, in 1924, they found some food bowls up on the hill. So there must be all sorts of stuff. It'd be good to go up there with a metal detector, wouldn't it? But there's all sorts of stuff up there. So a Bronze Age burial ground, 2 skeletons found, and more artifacts, including arrowheads. Fantastic. Right, so there you go, a quarry and a Bronze Age burial site. Don't say I don't take you anywhere nice. Now you might notice that this week's video is very short. and very to the point. And that's because I had a bit of a, how do I explain it? Is it a disaster? A wild goose chase? I don't know. I had a couple of days off and I decided I thought, right, there's this place I've been meaning to go for actually a few years. Somebody tipped me off about this place a few years ago. It's railway related and it's absolutely miles away. Apart from the couple of Scotland videos I did way back that nobody watched because you didn't know me then, this is probably the furthest place I've ever been to do a video. Up north, miles away. And I thought, right, I'll do it. So, typical me, I got in the car and I didn't set out early enough and I drove to this thing, railway related, and there's no roads to it. It's in the back of nowhere, honestly. So very difficult. Got to the nearest road, parked up, didn't quite park where I planned to because I got a bit lost, and started to walk to it with my phone like that. And I thought, that dot where I am isn't getting anywhere nearer to that place I want to be. And I walked and I walked. I had my mate Gary with me across open moorland. Wild, honestly, absolutely wild. And time's getting on. So it's getting on to like 5 o'clock in the evening now. Was it 5? About 4:30 in the evening. Encountered a beautiful enchanted forest. Here it is, absolutely wonderful. But that wasn't the thing I wanted to find. Anyway, I finally found what I was looking for, and wild, blowing a gale, occasionally raining, difficult to film, and such a big thing to look at. I wanted to get over to the other place, so the part of it, and Gary goes, we need to go back. We've walked for an hour and a half from the car. It's getting on for 5 o'clock. It's going to be dark, or it's gone 5. So with great reluctance, I just thought I had to shelve it. I drove all this way and I had to shelve it. And I didn't want to do it, but I knew he was right. So we had to turn around and walk back to the car across the moorland. A straightforward walk. It was like through hills and stuff like that, past the forest. We managed to get back to the car. I'm cutting a long story short here, and I'm sorry about this story. I hope you don't mind it. But we eventually got back to the car, and it was still light. And it turns out I wouldn't be able to do and film everything I wanted to do. So then we just nothing left to do but drive home. Ridiculous. It was like a 2.5 hour drive. So I'm driving home. By the time I got home, I made my mind up that I wasn't happy and the best bit I'd missed, and I needed to go back. I was going to go back the next day because I was off, but the weather was atrocious. As you've seen this week, if you're in the north of England, the weather's been atrocious. So, as you're watching this video on a Sunday evening, I will have probably been out today filming the other part of this thing in this God-forsaken, beautiful, but arse end of nowhere place, honestly. So hopefully I'll get the images and stuff that I want to get, and it'll form next week's video. I'm sorry to be so not tell you what it is. It's railway related and it's in the middle of nowhere, honestly. And even as I think about it now, I'm thinking, do I really want to go back to that bloody place? And the place isn't, you look at where it is and you just think, there's no road. There's no road to it. Well, I found a bit of a track to it. Anyway, sorry about the long rambling story. Sorry about the very short video this week. Sometimes that happens because the best day that I had filming was spent doing a hundreds of mile drive and a wild goose chase. So I do apologise for this week's video. Hopefully I'll be back next week with something decent for you. Right, that said, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I shall see you hopefully next week in the next video. And I'll take you to the back end of nowhere. Take care, bye for now.